for night court. President Biden's eviction moratorium is already facing a legal challenge tonight. A coalition of housing groups led by the Alabama Association of Realtors has filed a lawsuit in federal court in Washington, arguing the administration's actions are, quote, nakedly political. The White House seeming to acknowledge they're on shaky legal ground, but, well, they're going to try it anyway. No matter how the lower court rules the case, probably on the fast track to the Supreme Court, which has already weighed in sort of on this moratorium once, at least on a temporary basis. So let's preview the arguments with our legal eagles, data privacy specialist attorney Sarah Gounder and criminal defense attorney David Bruno. Welcome back to both of you.
Hi, Shannon.
Let's get to Exhibit A. Now, this is from Justice Kavanaugh. When this came before the court on an emergency basis, a temporary decision, they allowed the ban to go for a little bit longer. Justice Kavanaugh wrote this, in my view, clear and specific congressional authorization via new legislation would be necessary for the CDC to extend the moratorium past July 31st. So you had 5 justices who said, we'll let it go until then. But Justice Kavanaugh made it sound like his vote was premised upon Congress being the ones to extend this, and they didn't, Sarah.
Well, I actually think that the CDC did have a legal basis here, and that's based on their ability to take action to make sure that this virus doesn't spread. And we do know that there are high-risk variants out there right now that are posing a severe risk to our communities. And this extension is actually narrowly tailored compared to the last moratorium, where it only applies to counties that have a high level of risk and infection. Now, I do think we need to keep our renters safe here, but we also do need to protect our landlords as well. And you know, landlords are individuals, they're mom and pop shops, they're also small business owners, and they're also struggling through this pandemic.
Yeah.
And over a year of this moratorium as well. And so I think, yes, let's keep the runners safe, and it is legal for the CDC to do this, but also let's support the landlords as well.
Well, yeah, the president has admitted he's not sure it's legal. Let's go to Exhibit B from the Aspen Institute. They say more than 15 million people live in households that are currently behind on their rental payments, which places them at legal risk of eviction. According to one estimate, these households collectively owe more than $20 billion to their landlords. And David, you heard Sarah's argument there, just trying to keep people safe in a very unstable, really tough year.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but unfortunately, it has to be done in Congress. I mean, you referenced the Kavanaugh opinion. That was in June, and that was just right before the deadline, and they had perfect notice. And in fact, the White House has done a complete 180 on this. The press secretary has said it days ago that they did not have the constitutional authority to do it. And even President Biden recently has said he thinks he's on unsound ground.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so Exhibit C is this. George Will, writing the Washington Post, says, as of June, landlords were owed $27.5 billion in unpaid rents. Almost half of the landlords, who include many minorities, only own 1 or 2 rental units. They continue paying mortgages, property taxes, insurance, and utilities, while the CDC requires them to house non-paying people or risk jail. Landlords can plausibly argue that the moratorium is a taking. Quick final argument from you both. Sarah, to you, then David.
Again, there's a legal basis to do this and for the CDC to make this decision to keep communities safe, but let's also protect and support our landlords. So I think they have to make a different decision here about our landlords moving forward.
David?
Sure. There's $46.5 billion in relief out there, and it needs to be dispersed. And that's one of the biggest problems that the politicians in D.C. have. They have to get out to the landlords and the tenants to assist, and Congress needs to step up. But right now, the Democrats, they're so divided, and the Republicans, they don't have the votes in either the House or the Senate to do it. They all need to go back to D.C., get something done, because Congress has to make it happen.
Okay, so super quickly, does this go to the Supreme Court, and does Justice Kavanaugh change his vote? Who wins or loses this time? Quickly, Sarah, then David.
Ooh, that's difficult.
Do you think it gets there, though?
I don't think so. I don't.
All right,
think so.
David is shaking his head. Yes. What do you say, Dave?
Yeah, it is. It is. And but the lower courts have to follow the Kavanaugh decision. So it's going to get it back up there. It's such a close call. It's a 5-4 decision, but I can't see the justices wavering. I think Congress does something before it gets to the United States.
All right, David and Sarah, thank you both very much. Great to have your expertise with us tonight.
Thanks, Shannon.